Hello friends, I'm Gaurav and meet this, the Apatosaurus louisii, a vegetarian dinosaur that gets its pride when angry. Can breaking the sound barrier from the tail be done? What happened? Not interested? Not cool. So what do you think about this? This is a planocranite, a species of crocodile in reptiles with planocranite. Hooves evolved for running fast in horses. It was done, and if you look to do, this is Charybdis, which at one time created whirlpools in the sea to sink Greek ships. And in today's video, friends, we're going to talk about some characteristics of extinct animals that are pretty unique. Here's the word. Now let's take a closer look at this organism. This is called Alicephalobus mephisto. It's a worm the size of a thumb on which scientists have spent 50 years of their life just to find out regarding how its tail behaves and which side is its tail on. You are not happy. In the Berkshire area, when the first fossil of this hallucigenia was seen, then for the next almost 15 years, it was observed in this manner. I turn it upside down for the steak. Understanding the depth of the matter, as a professional paleontologist whose job is to identify fossils, has no qualm. As a result, researchers in subsequent studies were compelled to use electron microscopes. Good that there's a mark on one end of that fossil. This layer had scary teeth. Any guesses which end this was? It was essential for the creature to perform very well, but anyway, it needed to deceive. It must have fallen. Goodoni's dating of this fossil indicates that it is approximately 580 million years old. The time when marine arthropods with bony armor first appeared. Plant your feet on the ground. Because of this, many creatures living on the ground had to try new tricks for their offspring. Now, in such a case, what is bite? What else could the creature do whose teeth reach up to its throat but cannot chew, and which has paired feet but cannot run? But was that enough? Well, actually around the same time, there was an arthropod that could coordinate nearly 110 pairs of legs together. It's almost like when an expert piano player is capable of playing two pianos at the same time. This was a very interesting creature named Hallucigenia sparsa. Even by looking at this creature, don't mistakenly consider it innocent. This gentleman was the largest among all marine arthropods of his time, about 9.6 inches in length. But that being was also an expert swimmer. In fact, at that time, these multi-legged arthropods used to rule the sea because of their paddle-like feet. Wait, what? What was it? A shrimp, a squid, or some unusual arthropod? Researchers have been asking similar questions for about 90 years. Keep tormenting. The first time an Anomalocaris fossil was seen, it felt like some kind of shrimp. Then by 1911, as we start to state the specimen's mouth structure, then another researcher, Charles Walcott, said, "This isn't just any jellyfish, it's called Nempetola natausti." People were just starting to accept this proposition when along came the year 1997. And then there's another new claim. This time, give the same British paleontologist. For 15 years, Jaron Hallucigenia had been studying this entire fossil specimen upside down. The researchers couldn't properly understand it. Listen, let me tell you what the truth is. Actually, in this fossil site, there are not one but two creatures' fossils which are superimposed one on top of the other. Or to put it simply, they are printed. Look, this body here, the body is of a punch, Garlegenia cambria, and above it, this head is of a jellyfish, Petoia natausti. But then after that, Harry Whittington and his co-student Derek Briggs identified it in 1985 as on Whittington's abnormal shrimp and hen's name Anomalocaris, who do their inward-facing sharp teeth on a path like Squinch's death. With its 6 feet long body and the shrimp-like strong armor on it, even the toughest can be devoured alive. The only solitary arthropod capable of competing was an 8-foot giant aquatic scorpion Eurypterid, whose claws alone are about 1.5 feet long. Want to know how much power this creature had? Just know, despite today's modern-day Japanese coconut crabs being about 1.3 feet, their claws had a force of about 3,000 newtons. It takes strength, meaning so much power that it requires effort. They can crack open a tough coconut in one strike. Now, even if we make a very conservative estimate based on this, that 8-foot scorpion had it too. It possesses that much strength, that they can snap off your hand from your torso with just a snap. Mind you, this is being said about a time from 467 to 458 million years ago. Then we all believe what happened with all these well-known apex predators. Did you know? Yes, there's been not one but two major mass extinctions, the first being at the end of the Ordovician and the second at the end of the Devonian, in which overall climate change and the ensuing decrease in dissolved oxygen caused the death of oceanic creatures. A new era came for some new age organisms, something like this. Which creatures of today looked like them? Descendants could be... Oh, reptiles actually, synapsids, our ancestors. I know, it's a bit hard to digest just by looking at the But to clear your confusion, take a look at this phylogenetic tree. Those who grow based on the match. Here, you can clearly see that synapsids and reptiles had separated from each other long ago, even though mammals belong to this entire group. One of those early synapsids resulted from separating from a non-mammalian synapsid. In simple terms, reptiles might have been second or third cousins to synapsids 305 million years ago, but we mammals are their own blood. Their own lineage actually separated very early from reptile synapsids because reptiles already had a head start, while on the other hand, we mammals were just taking baby steps back then. As a result, these reptiles were evolving quite drastically. Some now have abilities that allow them to break the sound barrier with ease. Can you hear that? That's a Patasaurus, Louise. That sound is from a whip, which had swung around at a speed of about 360 meters per second, roughly 300 million years ago, meaning faster than the speed of sound. Meaning, if anyone gets even a whack from this 14 meters long heavy pooch, so this animal's spine would just break into two pieces. Here's the catch. Some scientists believe that probably a Patasaurus used its supersonic tail only when defending itself. Because unlike small tails, if such a massive structure were to go supersonic, caught, then just with 2 to 3 straws, that pooch's bones. And in fact, probably that was why the coming heavy herbivorous dinosaurs thought that, look brother, there's no point in copying a Patasaurus. Its weapon is not just powerful but also efficient. We instantly need something like a modern weapon. And if not, it's a hammer's hammer. As a result, meet these, the living armies of the late Cretaceous period. Ankylosaurus, which existed 68 million years ago, was prevalent across the whole Pacific Northwest. I patrol on petrol. Simply put, for defense, they had a rock-like tough body armor, and for offense, they had a fully fledged hammer. You won't kill, but there was a time when their terror was so great that some predators left the ground to hunt in the sky. Even though, unlike modern birds, their bones were not hollow. Flying dinosaurs, or more specifically, places in the late Jurassic period existed. Among all the pterosauruses, the biggest used to be at least one giraffe. When the wings are fully extended, their total wingspan will surpass that of an average-sized Volvo. That was all it took, and their head alone reached a length of over 5.5 feet. Meaning, if I stand next to it, from the ground to my shoulder, its skull is this tall. But does that mean it was made for them? This long skull houses a broad mind as well. Because moving forward, the feathered dinosaurs were more successful in the late Cretaceous extinction. Although similar to crocodiles, they were able to surpass them. Their fingers were inspired by fossils 55 million years ago. The Devonian period, a group of reptiles called planocrenites. Their fingers were made to resemble horse hooves, and they used to show great finger movement. Meaning, running on the tip of their toes, these creatures lived a unique life until a big-footed field is there. So no Bigfoot has come yet. However, the Chinese believed these to be the teeth of mythical dragons, while the Indians thought they might be the fossil remains of an ancient orangutan.
These are vessels of a new ape-like species called Giantopithecus, which roamed the earth from approximately 12 to 8 million years ago. Their height is about 3.5 meters, and they weigh about half a ton. Now a gorilla is so powerful that it can blow away a human's picture. So here you go. Ahead are your 3.5 meters long, 500 kilograms gorillas. Interestingly, a recent study says that Gigantopithecus probably were not giant carnivorous apes, but rather giant herbivores. Who got more interested in eating bamboo? So rejoice, I made you all what you are. Theosabricyntus Charybdis, a sea monster that haunted Greek sailors' nights for years. However, after the progress in science, it was discovered that currents in the Strait of Messina, southern Italy, clash in such a way that naturally occurring whirlpools form. Strong whirlpool to expand its burning purpose. That is, there was never such a sea monster, it's just an ancient Greek legend. It's from folklore. Temporarily made it a part of reality. Talking about it just shows the diversity there was on Earth. And it will continue to be. We have learned about qualities that are totally unexpected. What do you think about this? In your opinion, which is the most fascinating creature we discussed? Post your response in the comment section below, and if you learned anything new from this video, do hit a like. Just hit the subscribe button on Supply Science channel and press the bell and option so you don't miss any of our video updates. Stay curious, friends, keep learning and keep growing.